Think all host agencies pay the same? Think again. That bright, shiny host, the one with all the beautiful marketing that you think is the perfect place for you, may end up costing you tens of thousands of dollars in lost income. Before you sign that host contract, watch this whole video. All right, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell over here on YouTube. We bring you amazing content every single week to help you grow your travel businesses, and I don't want you to miss a thing. If you're new here, type a little "I'm new" in comments so I can welcome you to our community. And if you are new, you might not know who I am. My name is Cyndi Williams. I'm the CEO and founder of Wanderlust Campus. We help you launch, grow, and supersize your travel business through our award-winning gold standard of certifications in the industry. You can find all of our information over at travelschool.com. Now, important thing to understand about today's video is we don't host agents. We don't take any of our students or clients' income commission splits. We don't do any of that. So any of the advice that I am giving you on today's video and in general in life is only for your best benefit. My only goal is that you are getting in the best possible setup and you are making the most amount of money in the travel industry. And in my 30 years of experience, I started way back in 1993 is when I went through travel school. I've been in the industry a long time and I've seen some great startups out there. I've seen some horrible startups out there. And I have to say the last 5-10 years, we have a plethora of unfortunately not great setups in the industry. So I'm going to be showing you two case studies today, just kind of picked at random, and also because one of the things we do at Wanderlust Campus is we do free goal mapping sessions for people who are not sure how to get started or they want to understand the certification process and how that might be good for them, but they just kind of want to know the scoop from someone who is not going to gain anything by what they choose. So I'm going to try to recreate that for today's video, but I want you to understand the two that I'm showcasing today. It doesn't mean that they are the worst ones out there by far, but I'm going to showcase one that really has an unfortunately low commission split, allegedly, or so I am told, and one that is kind of your standard commission split for new agents. So it's not outside of what you'll see in our industry, but I also want all of you to understand that a lot of times you can do so much better, but you don't know what you don't know. So we're going to take a deep dive today. And now is where I'm going to put our disclaimer in.
The following content is provided for educational purposes and reflects my personal opinions and professional experience. I am not affiliated with or compensated by any host agency mentioned in this video. All commentary is protected under free speech and is based on my publicly available information and first-hand industry insights.
So first up, we're going to talk numbers. I like to run my businesses based on facts, not feelings. And so everything that I'm going to share with you today, we're going to kind of quantify through numbers so you guys can really understand how these decisions will impact what ends up in your bank account. And I hope that's helpful for you. So when you're new, obviously it's hard to figure out what is a good setup versus a bad setup in terms of not just your setup, but your commission split. And that's really what today's video is. I don't want you to get tricked into one of these bad commission splits that are out there, because it could cost you so much money. I've had so many clients come through that have said, oh my gosh, Cyndi, in fact, just last week I had my travel agency owner retreat. We had one here in Orlando where my agency owners that have been my clients of mine for years have been working with me for 1 year, 2 years, some in the case 5 and 6 years. And they come to our agency owner retreat and one of them brought this up and they said, I started in one of those outfits that was only paying 50% commission. And Cyndi, you changed my life in terms of as soon as you found out that's what I was doing, we corrected, we pivoted, and we got them into their most profitable setup. And today they're a multi-million-dollar agency and earning the maximum potential for them, not for someone else. So those are things that you don't know what you don't know, because this was not a dumb person. This was someone who thought they did their due diligence, but the internet, there's so much misinformation out there. And there's also some really good slick marketing that I feel like you guys can fall victim to. So first thing I want you to do is take a breath. If you don't understand how the travel industry works, the first thing that you should do is go get our free masterclass. Now all of you guys can get a free Wanderlust Campus account. Part of what we do in the travel industry, it being the travel industry's training department per se, is we allow everyone to get a free Wanderlust Campus account. So you can visit us at wanderlust-ceo.com. Once you get your free account, if you are an aspiring or a new agent, you're going to see our free masterclass in there that's kind of like an orientation for the travel industry. Start there. I go into a deep dive of all the different setup types and which one might potentially be good for you. Today we're talking about not getting ripped off on your commission, right? But start there as far as if you're still in that exploration phase and you just don't understand the industry, that's an advocacy project. There's nothing to sell on that training class. So take that first in your Wanderlust Campus account. But I wanted to provide some real world examples. And we're going to look at this over kind of like your first 5 years in business. So I've selected 2 that I've heard of out there. One of them is called Smart Moms Travel. And the rumor is that they pay 55% commission to agents. I'm going to have a dramatic pause here because that hurts my heart. That is how low the commission is, meaning I guess the new agent gets 55 and they keep 45% of all of their agents' commission. That's rough, guys. And then the other one that I'm going to pick in terms of our case study is Fora Travel. Now, Fora is a little bit newer on the scene. They've popped on the scene in the last couple years. And keep in mind, neither of these hosts are vetted hosts with Wanderlust Campus. We are not affiliated in any way, shape, or form. But Fora starts at pretty much the industry standard, which is 70%. That's not unusual. If you're a new agent, 70% is usually what they're bringing you in at because they know you're going to need some support. You're going to need some onboarding. They know they have to do some work to get you where you need to be. Also keep in mind that these are not employers, guys. You are working as a contract in these models. So you are running your own business under their businesses. And then with Fora, you have to earn your way up to that 80% mark. So, and then the third case study we're going to look at is if you work through Wanderlust Campus and you go with one of our vetted hosts, you can actually earn up to 91% commission from day one. So we're going to look at the math on how that kind of tracks between these different scenarios. So we have kind of one that's on the lower level commission wise, one that is mid-level or industry standard, and then the best possible commission you can find anywhere out there in the industry is through earning your certification and getting that higher commission from day one. But what does that really mean? Like, we have to quantify it from a math perspective because a lot of people will say, well, I'll just start because this one seems fun, or I'll start here and then I'll move to that other one later. I want to explain that moving yourself from host to host or even going from a host to going independent is a big process. It's a lot of work, and it is way better to just pick the best setup from the beginning so you don't waste time, you don't waste money, you don't waste energy, and you're earning the most from the beginning, right? So let's look at this from over a 5-year perspective. And I'm going to give you a scenario of you're kind of over a 5-year process. You're kind of growing from $300,000 up to $1 million annually. So every year you're earning kind of a little bit more, $300,000, $400,000, $600,000, $750,000, and then $1 million. And so that's going to be in between. If I do the math on that, that means if you are with Smart Moms, according to their alleged 55% commission split is what we have heard, you would take home about $201,000. So, I mean, double 6 figures, but remember, it's taking 5 years to get there. With Fora, you would earn $268,000. And keep in mind, with Fora, we did pull some information that said once you're past the $300,000 mark with them, they do move you to 80%. So that's a positive. So we accounted for that in our mathematical equation. And then with Wanderlust Campus, though, guys, you would make $332,000. So just do the big comparison, right? That's up to $131,000 more in your pocket, 6 figures more in your pocket over 5 years by picking the right setup from the beginning and having the right support. That is a huge difference. So if we're putting on our business owner hat and saying, I know you're saying, oh, but certification is going to cost this much, right? Factor it into your startup process. The ROI on that is going to be like no time at all when we're talking over the course of your first 5 years in the industry being able to earn potentially up to over $100,000 more, $131,000 more, as long as we're tracking those numbers. So here's what I want you to think about. The hidden pitfalls of bad host contracts. And again, I'm not saying either of these hosts are bad. I really don't know how they run the inside of their business. Maybe with Smart Moms, they're so fantastic with support that all of their people are selling millions of dollars a year. I don't know what the case is over there. Maybe there's some value to giving away 45% of your commission. But do the math on that, right? And same thing with Fora, in terms of that whole piece. So just, again, do your due diligence. But what are some of those pitfalls that you can see in contracts that can be a little suspect? When you have tiered splits, that means you have to earn your way to the higher thresholds. And sometimes these can be very unrealistic. And not the two that we're talking about today, but I've seen ones out there that say, yes, we start you at 70%, and then once you get to $500,000, we'll move you to 75. Like, no, if you're at $500,000, you should be earning 90% split or close to that for sure. Or just start with a host that has a higher one. They also might have kind of non-compete clauses trying to limit your freedom, meaning, and I know that there's contracts out there. I'm not saying it's with these two because I have not seen their contracts, but I've heard of lots of contracts out there. They say, oh, I'm going to give you a non-compete for the entire United States, and it's going to be for 2 years. That's going to get thrown out. Talk to your legal professionals. I am not a legal representative. I'm always going to point you over there to talk to them. But with the legislation that changed last year and how states are interpreting, you cannot prohibit someone's right to work. So having a non-compete that goes for the entire United States, it's not going to hold up. So talk to your legal professional. If you're in one of these bad contracts, again, I'm not saying it's with these two, whatever setup you are potentially in, take that contract to your legal representative and say, what's going to get thrown out? What can I do here? How can I pivot and get out of this? Now, the other thing that happens with some of these contracts is they will say, when you leave, we're keeping all your commission. So they basically want you to stay with them until your last commission is paid. So the reason this is important for you to understand is when you book travel, you don't get paid till the people travel. So if you have an Alaskan cruise for next August, you have a big group traveling next July, and you want to leave one of these bad outfits, you have to decide, oh my gosh, am I going to leave all that commission on the table? I did all of that work. Or do I sit it out, and then do I have to wait 2 years for this non-compete? Do you see why this is so important? It can set you back. So again, if you have not signed a contract yet, go slow. Schedule your goal mapping session with us. We can help guide you on that. But you need to read every single line of those contracts. And if you feel like there is something that is not right in the contract or can't be upheld, talk to your legal professional, because sometimes the people writing these contracts are not legal professionals, or they're putting in clauses that are not really enforceable. And in those cases, you may have a case to be able to get out of that contract in an easier, faster way. But keeping that commission one, hosts are able to do that, and that is a sticky one. You don't want to have that happen to you. The other thing that can happen is they can have high back-end fees or percentage takeaways that you didn't notice in the fine print. You want to watch the community language that sounds friendly but really masks how they want to control your business. Now remember, you're working as a contractor. These are contract agreements. So if you just really think twice, guys, you want to make sure, like, you're going to be putting a lot of time and effort. If you're in that exploratory phase, you're probably, I'm excited, I just want to get signed up. Pause, like, take a deep breath. You're going to come back and be like, Cyndi, thank you. You saved me from a nightmare. This is the reason you want to just take a deep breath. I know you're excited. Everybody's excited when they get into the travel industry. Everyone has starry eyes. Everyone wants to do all the things, and you think you're going to be so great at it. I am here to tell you, after training for 30 years in this industry, this job is way harder than you think it is. There are way more things that you need to know. You are going to be working hard. You're going to be spending time away potentially of from your family. You're going to have to put you're going to put work, time, energy, effort, resources into your business in order to earn commission. And so you're going to do all this work. You're signing up for all this work that you don't even know you're going to have to do yet. And when you start to see those commission checks, and let's say you make $1,000 commission, do you want $550 of that commission? Or do you want $910 of that commission? That's just one sale, right? You're going to make hundreds of sales over the next 5 years. So pausing, taking time. You need to start thinking like a business owner. You want to be a business owner, you got to start thinking like a business owner from day one. Pause and make those best decisions from day one. So here's the other thing that I see out there in the industry. And again, I'm not saying it's these two that we're talking about today, but there's great marketing. Sometimes the worse the deal, the better the marketing is. So you want to say just because they have great branding doesn't mean that they are offering a fair deal. You want to ask things like this: who owns my clients, right? What happens to my commission if I leave? Do I still get paid that commission, or does it stay with the agency? Do I have control over my branding and my tech? Some of these Disney-based agencies, you have to use their branding because they're going after a process or an accolade called earmarking with Disney. So they require you to use their branding. That means you can't create your own identity, and it makes it way harder when you want to go off and become independent later, or you want to switch to a different host. You don't have any identity to take with you. And so it's like starting all over again. And then what happens after your first booking? How soon do I get my commission? And ask all of these questions, right? If you are a certification student of ours, we actually have something called a host vetting guide that we give you. And then we set you up to have interviews and kind of match you in the industry with hosts that we know are doing things in a very reputable way, a very ethical way. And again, I've not researched these two companies. They could be doing things reputable and ethically. I'm not saying that. However, our hosts have been in business forever. They've been around the block. They don't lock you into weird contracts, and we have negotiated higher commission rates than they pay the public. You can't just go to our vetted hosts and say, "Oh, can I get, Cindy's rate?" They're going to say, "Do you have your certification certificate?" You have to earn that certification. Now, you might say, "Well, why do I have to earn the certification? Can't I just get the higher commission?" The reason the host is willing to pay you a higher commission is once you've earned that certification, they know you have the skills. They know that you're going to sell faster. They know that you are going to be less of an administrative burden because you already know how to do your job. You've already educated yourself. You're going to sell faster. You're going to make more money. So they are willing to give away more of their commission to get our students. Our students are the cream of the crop. They're the gold standard. We only have 5 or 6 vetted hosts, and they fight over our students. They all want you because you are the prettiest unicorns in the room. You are fully trained. You're confident. When people come out of Careers on Vacation, which is our flagship certification, they know you are on your path to being a top seller. And that's really the Wanderlust Campus difference, right? We take 0% commission. That's why it doesn't matter to me which of our vetted hosts that you pick. I don't get anything for you picking one host over another. We have no affiliation where that's concerned. My only job is to guide you, and I give you a coach to work with you to understand how do you want to work, what niches do you want to serve? How do you want to serve your clients? What does your custom business look like? How much support do you need? Are you not tech savvy? Are you super tech savvy? Is a mid-size agency right for you? Is a super agency right for you? Is a really small agency right for you? We have all different ones in our host selection, and we will match you and say, I want you to interview these 2 to 3, and then you were able to pick. And with all of our hosts, you are guaranteed to have the best commission tiers that are out there. And in some cases, they offer different discounts and promotions at different times during the year that will sometimes waive startup fees or have less startup fees. And some of them don't even have monthly fees. Some of them have lower monthly fees. So whatever deals are available, our students get the best deal. But most importantly, you get those higher commission tiers, which is why it can result in over $100,000 or more in your first 5 years. So see how putting on the business hat to if I invest here, I'm going to make it back huge on the back end, right? And most importantly, understand Careers on Vacation is not just a certification program. It is a business building program. So when you were going through that 12-week certification process, we are in the trenches with you, helping you build your business systems for things like sales, marketing, client support, all of the things, customer service, all of the things that you're going to need to have automated in your business and have running so you can really operate in today's marketplace will be set up by the time you graduate the program. So guys, listen, I don't want you to have to climb the ladder to get fair pay, but you do have to take some ownership in going, okay, if I take a breath and I get certified and I do the right thing, I know I can earn more from day one. That's what you want to do. And before you sign that contract, couple of tips for you. Read that full contract. Yes, all of it, every word. Have your legal representative look at it. I know it's going to cost you $500, $800, whatever it is, pay it, because it's going to save you. If you're trying to go it alone, it could save you in the end. Ask if there are minimums, quotas, tiered requirements. Confirm who owns the client, who owns your client base. Compare the commission and support, and also look at the tech. Can you take the tech with you? If they have you all working on their internal systems and you're not able, it makes it really hard to go independent later. Because going independent, you can get 100% of your commission. We give our students that information from day one, so when they're ready to go independent, they can also do that. No one shares that information with you because they want you to stay with them forever, right? Wanderlust Campus, remember, we don't work for hosts, we work for you. So we're going to give you all the details, no gaslighting, full transparency, and you can count on that from us. So what do you do if you're already in a bad setup? Maybe you signed a tough contract. Maybe you are like, oh my gosh, what do I do? Pull your contract, review it closely. Don't panic. Chances are there might be a way out. And again, we're gonna have to have your legal representative take a look at it and say, how do I get out of this contract? Can I get out of this contract? What's the best course of action to fulfill my contract, but also not prohibit me from making a different decision or going a different direction? Confirm and also book a confidential chat with our team. We help quietly and professionally behind the scenes kind of understand what happened, where are you, and we can give you guidance. If you are in one of these weird setups and you're like, I didn't get the training and support, I'm getting a bad commission split, I feel like I have to stay here for years now because I'm waiting for families to travel, book a call with us so we can teach you behind the scenes how to pivot discreetly. We want you to be able to keep your clients, want you to be able to leave without burning bridges, and also move you to a higher commission earning spot immediately. I want you making more money, like that alone, right? So guys, 2 things I want to leave you with today. If you don't already have your free Wanderlust Campus account, visit us at wanderlust-ceo.com. Do the sign up for the free account and it'll unlock any free resources for you, including that masterclass if you are in exploratory phase. And also book a call if you want to be earning at this higher level, whether you are new or you want to pivot out of another situation. You can book a appointment with our enrollment counselors. You can book a free consultation with our enrollment advisors by going to careersonvacation.com/ready now. It's going to ask a little pre-survey. You can share all of some pre-information so the counselor knows kind of what situation you're coming in as, and we will spend that half an hour call really understanding where you are and figuring out how to get you into a better situation, or if you haven't started yet, guiding you into just what the best setup is as you start to make those decisions for your new business. So guys, I hope this was helpful for you. This is such a difficult topic, but I get requests for this kind of stuff all the time. Like what does that mean that I get higher commission? And so I really just wanted to paint a picture for you on what does that look like bottom line for you in your first few years of business. So hopefully that was helpful for you wherever you are in your journey. I wish you so much love, so much abundance. I wish you the world. I'll see you next week. Like that last video, I want to encourage you to check out the other content we have here on the channel. We have amazing content at every level, no matter where you are in your travel industry journey, from aspiring to new to growing. Even our travel agency owners, look for those playlists and you can find some amazing content that's really catered just to you. And by the way, if you haven't signed up for your Wanderlust Campus free account, make sure you do that too. And you know what? I'm going to pick some videos and put them for you right here. Check those out. I'll see you next time.